Hello, my name is Maurice Vargas, and I'm here with Notes on Music, where we talk about I guess you'd say, the central core, what drives music and what drives musicians in displaying their art. And I'm here with a good friend of mine by the name of Leo Milman, who plays classical music. He's a musician, he's a teacher, and he's an accomplished musician, actually. And he's going to be sharing with us his notes on music. So welcome, Leo. How you doing?
Thank you. I'm fine. Thank you for having me here. It's a privilege to have a chance to share some thoughts and memories with you.
Tell us, what got you started actually in music?
Well, as many young people, they start because their parents decide to give them a chance in the music. So my mother decided to give me that chance, and here I am, being a professional musician. But it started when I was 6 years old, and I had no idea that that was on my mom's mind, and she just brought me to a music studio, and I remember she said to me, Leo, when they call your name, just say piano. Well, for 6 years old, it was pretty new word, and I forgot. But I remember the kid before me said violin. So when they called my name, I said violin. Here I am playing this instrument 35 years later.
Why did the violin actually appeal to you?
Well, I believe that each instrument has its personality. And how I know it, I teach a lot, and through the course of 20 years, I had a lot of students, and I've been noticing that one instrument, cello or viola or violin, goes for one student and doesn't really work for the other. So I guess it's my personality that matched with that instrument. It has this unique voice, and most important, it's like a language. It's like a second or third language that you talk.
Now, I've heard that they have said that the violin is the closest to the human voice. Is that true?
Absolutely. Not because it has that...
Not because you have an affinity for the violin?
No, but because you don't have to be a professional musician to understand. As you listen, you just feel. And as violin play, if you're a professional player and you express your thoughts, your ideas, musical ideas fully, it touches. You know, I always thought it's all abstraction. It's not. It does work in some mysterious way that when musician is fully expressive as he plays, and I don't mean just emotionally, there's a lot of thoughts that going on beyond those notes, and if that is expressed fully, a listener without even prior knowledge of how it works is going to feel it. Because people say that it touches my heart, but that's actually true. It became true to me when I stepped into professional playing, and I started understanding and actually being able to play to the point that would touch me. And if it touches me, it touches
touch other people.
Absolutely.
Wow, that's amazing. And so, do you feel, because of the violin, it has such a scale? I mean, it hits the low notes, it hits the high notes, it sort of has this vibration in it, that makes it a universally an appealing instrument?
The range of timbres and techniques is just endless. And all of that makes that magic touch that I was mentioning before.
Tell me, who are your favorite violinists?
My favorite violinist? Well, it's a violinist from the past, David Oistrakh. He's the one who's been idolized, fairly idolized, I believe, by many, at least Russian musicians. He's the one who inherited an old school and pushed it forward, producing so many other famous violinists. helping them grow and influencing even musicians like myself now in 21st century by his recordings, by his books, and so on.
Follow-up question to that, how about your favorite composer?
A favorite composer for me is Johann Sebastian Bach.
What is it about his music that you like?
I wish I could just give you a simple answer.
Bach wasn't too simple, was he?
No, no. I guess part of it is his dedication. It is a fact. We know that at the end of his every piece, he wrote to the glory of God. And I guess he was influenced by higher powers, I believe, to write such a beautiful music. It was really, it is really inspirational music. What is it that can I put my finger on it and say this and that? It's everything. It's harmony. It's melodies. It's that deepness of thoughts that's being expressed by his music.
You guys are going to perform a little
Yes.
bit here for television, and we have some songs that I want to ask you a little bit about some of these songs, and there's Air by Bach, and tell us a little bit about Air by Bach. What is it that you like about Air by Bach?
Well, beside that, this is one of my favorite composers. This is one of the most famous and most favorable piece of music that he wrote. It's just endlessly floating. I hope you will enjoy that music, but to me, I can play it for hours. Sometimes I catch myself even listening to it. How many times can you listen to something that you already played so many times, and yet this is the music that you can keep on enjoying.
It's over 200 years old, isn't it, Bach?
Or over.
Yeah. So perhaps music that has lasted that long must be very good music.
Obviously.
I mean, I wouldn't say every music that has lasted that long is great music, but surely Bach's music has stood the test of time.
Absolutely.
I think you're going to play for us also Fireworks. That's by Handel, correct?
By Handel,
Tell
yes.
me a little bit about, tell us all about Fireworks for a moment here.
Fireworks. Originally, it was written for band instruments. It was supposed to be performed outside. Well, there are arrangements for strings, and that's the arrangement that we're playing. The music was originally intended for king.
Has this majestic drive to it, I've noticed.
What's appealing about this music is that that atmosphere, majesty atmosphere, just like you said.
Now, there's one song that I think is like really, really nice. Intermezzo from Cavalleria Rusticana. Tell us a little bit about that. Did I pronounce that right?
Yes.
I think that's one of the most passionate, one of the most beautiful string pieces I've ever heard, actually.
This is one of the most beautiful pieces I played, and that's why I chose it to be in the repertoire. It's one of the most romantic, one of the most passionate pieces. It just takes you right in, whether you listen to it, whether you play.
Yes. Well, we're going to hear from you guys on that one as well. As a matter of fact, that's going to be our last song that we're going to hear. And there's Pavan.
Yes.
And tell us a little bit about Pavan. This is a very emotional piece. Tell us about it.
Well, Pavan originally is actually a funeral march. And Fauré made it made this funeral march in a very emotional, wrote it in such an emotional way just like the other piece I said that takes you right in, this one is just the same, extremely rich in harmony. The melody is just floating endlessly. It's better to just hear it. I can't describe this with words.
It's hard to describe it, isn't it?
It's very hard to. In fact, one of the most difficult class I ever took in music was analysis, because you have to express in words what you can only express by playing.
Yes, and there's the one with the flute, the real, how can I say it, exciting flute piece that by Bach.
Badinieri. The same piece published in Russia was called a joke, or yeah, probably joke would be the closest translation, because that's what this piece is. Very bright, very playful. That's what it is. It's a short piece. It captures your attention right away, and after it's done so soon, usually you want to hear a little more. And we try to play it the way so that people would like to hear more of it.
So who are some of the people that you play with?
Well, it's myself playing first violin. My wife Natalia is playing second violin. My good friend Vasily is on the viola. On the cello, we have Natalia as well, so we have two Natalias, and Paul on guitar. In fact, this is how the name came to be when myself and my wife Natalia decided to organize this group. It's two of our names put together, Leo and Natalia, Leonata.
That's pretty good. What would you say to young people about this type of music?
I would tell them, you have to experience it. This music has to grow in you, and once it grows in you, it'll stay with you. This is the music that started it all. No matter what kind of style is your favorite style, it has its roots in the music that you're about to experience. And I would like to suggest again, experience more of that.
Wonderful. Thank you very much. We'd like to thank you for joining us here at Notes on Music, what drives a musician in his soul. I'm sure our listening audience is excited about this interview and about the music that you're sharing. And may God bless you.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me here.
Yes.